Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. I am going to do a palette collection. I'm scared to be judged because it is a lot. Maybe it's not a lot compared to some collections, but it's definitely a lot compared to just the people around me in real life. It's just not normal. I'm not going to be decluttering in this unless like I see a palette that I'm like, oh, why do I still have this? But yeah, I'm gonna keep these for now and declutter them as I try them out throughout the year. I think I'm just like not even gonna go in any kind of order. There's about 100 palettes. I don't know if I brought out my Shop My Stash palettes, but that was the Ritualistic Rose and Master Palette by Mario from ABH. Those are the only two palettes that are not here, I think. So I'm sitting just basically behind where I normally sit. I just wanted to sit on the floor because there's more room here for me to spread out everything. And I think that's all that I want to say. Just please don't judge. That's all I ask. Don't judge. Okay, so the first palette is not really like a palette you can buy, but it's Inglot shadows in like one of these build your own Freedom System palettes. I really like these a lot. I don't see myself decluttering that. This one I have tried only once. It's the Flutter By palette from Colourpop. Like, it's so pretty. I don't really have thoughts on it. I've only ever used it one time, but hopefully I'll get some use out of it this year and make up my mind. I have a couple of Zoeva palettes here. This is the Cafe palette. I went crazy this summer and bought like every Zoeva palette that I could find, and I think I'm only left with these two at this point. I've not used that, but I've kept it because I really like these green colors. The color story speaks to me. Hopefully it's good. We'll see. We'll see how I feel about that. These will all be in like Shop My Stash videos, but you'll see here how many palettes I've really just not used. I'll give you reviews on ones that like I know really well, but a lot of these I just don't. I think this palette is called the Zoeva Eye See. Other than just right now, the second, I don't think I've even swatched this palette. But she's a pretty one. I'm gonna have to go faster because that's just 4 palettes out of like the 100 that are out here. I have 5 Pat McGrath Mothership palettes that I'm not really sure which is which, but I have the one with the green, the one with the blue, the one with the red. I thought I had another one. I thought I had 6 anyway. I do have 6, I just found the 6th one. Anyway. The one with the red, I think this is Mothership 5. This is the Mothership 4, and it had to be repressed 4 shades. But I just can't get rid of it just because it's repressed and messy. We'll see. I'm going to use it eventually and see if I'm going to keep it. This one with the pink. And this is the newest one I have out of the Mothership palettes. I think I'm only missing one, but it was like released in a day and sold out in like a minute, and I'm kind of over it. I don't want to be chasing down palettes that I wasn't able to get my hands on. Right. And those palettes I haven't really used. What is wrong with me? I want to find a palette that like has good use from me. Here's one. This is the Dominique Cosmetic Rustic Glam palette. Doesn't really look like I've used it that much, but this was the only palette I brought with me to a trip to my cousin's, and I was there for a week, and this palette is just so good. The formula is amazing. And you can get so many looks. Like I got a blue look, I got a neutral look, I got a pink look, I got a green look. Like it just, the possibilities are endless. Yeah, this is a fave for sure. This is the Jeffree Star and Dawson Conspiracy palette. I really love this and I've used this quite a bit. I don't know that it was worth the stress to get it. I got it on the day it was released and I was sitting in an infusion chair and I was like to everyone around me, like, don't talk to me. I need this palette. It's gonna sell out like this. I know it. And it was like a nightmare to get. And I got it, but that was a stressful day. And it's stressful for a palette. Like, come on. There's like way more serious things in the world. So I have it. I'm not mad that I have it. I'm just annoyed that I like worked myself up to get it, you know? Since we're doing Jeffree Star and it was easy to find the other palettes I have the Mini Controversy palette, which I don't really have thoughts on. The only colors I've really used out of here are these two, Crown My Couch and Diet Root Beer, like just easy go-to colors. I've reached into that for those colors, but that's it. Jawbreaker. I've never even swatched this thing. Oh man. I don't think I have a lot of like rainbow palettes, but I have the Jawbreaker palette and then I have the Mmmmitchel palette, which I've used quite a bit. Like they are different, but they're both rainbow. The fate of Jawbreaker is undetermined at this point. Mmmmitchel from Beauty Bay. I really love this palette. Lunar Beauty. I have this Strawberry Dream palette. I received this as a Christmas gift. I've used it once and so far I really, really like it. It smells like strawberry shortcake, the doll, you know? Yeah, that's going nowhere. I love it. This one I'm not sure. I've only ever swatched it. I've never used it. It's the Lunar Beauty Moonspell palette. But the packaging of this is like the cutest thing ever. And I love that all of the names in here are like witches. We'll see. We'll see what happens with that. It's late at night right now, so I know it's dark. And it's been dark all day because it's been a snowstorm. Here are some pricey babies. The Viseart Grande Pro 1. This is my most used out of the three. You can't even tell that I've used it. The Grande Pro 2 got like a lot of negative reviews, but I don't know, I'm like into this. It's every lid shade you could possibly need in every finish. I like it. These are going nowhere. And the Volume 3, which I've used like maybe twice. I pre-ordered it. When it was announced, I pre-ordered it. Like, who do I think I am? So much shame. I just want to be clear, like the purpose of this video isn't to review everything because I know I haven't used most of this stuff. It's not to declutter. It's just to show you my collection really, and if there's anything that anyone's watching wants to like see tutorials or like how I would use it or reviews or something like that, then I can like focus in or zone in on one of those palettes. It'll also like show you what I have as I do like my monthly baskets and stuff, like things that can be picked for the baskets. I also have this Viseart palette. It's the Liaison palette, and I only kept it for this color here, right down here, Bisou. It's so pretty, and unlike their other palettes, I can't, it's not magnetic, so I can't like pop it out. So this palette is staying for now. I also have a few 12 pan palettes. So I have this one, the Dark Matte, the Neutral Matte, which I use this a lot. I actually had a backup of it that I decluttered. Yay me, because am I actually going to go through a whole palette before I get bored of it? No. I have this one, which is the Cool Mattes 2. Those matte palettes for sure are staying. But then I have this one called Koi. It's all shimmer. I was very excited about it when I first got it. And now I don't really know. So that one we might see go sometime this year. Dose of Colors. I don't know. I bought all of these not this past Black Friday, but Black Friday 2018, and I'm annoyed that they were in BoxyCharm. I don't know, I find that like once something goes into BoxyCharm, the value of it and the excitement of it just kind of goes away for me, so I don't know. But anyway, this wasn't in BoxyCharm. This is the Friendcation palette. I haven't used it as much as I hoped I would when I first bought it, but it's very pretty. And then I have all of these little 5-pan guys. So Sassy Sienna has not been used. Baked Browns, I have used this a few times. Snow Angel, I've never used. And this has been like one of those palettes that goes into my declutter pile a lot, and then I swatch it and I pull it out. I need to try it and see if it like works as well on the eyes. Marvelous Mauves, I really like this one. Pretty cool. I like this one as well. I used this in a tutorial that I have on my channel. I'll post it there. Is that where it goes? And then Blushing Berries. I have not used that one. So some of those may go at some point this year. Two that I'm just going to have forever are the Paleo and Archeo palette from Cliona. They're very, very pretty. And Cliona shadows are like no other. This is Paleo or Archeo. I really want to try their stained glass shadows. I know they are being restocked next week, but I'm on a no-buy and I can't buy them. I'll talk about that in my no-buy update because there's some things that are coming out that just like I've wanted for so long that are coming back in stock and I can't get them. I have the Vault, Jaclyn Hill Morphe Vault, which I've actually used quite a bit. And I don't hate these. I don't know. A lot of people don't like them. I quite enjoy them. I have a couple of little Pat McGrath quads. There's this guy, which is like Nirvana something, and then the one that was released with it. This one I've used quite a bit and I really, really love. This one I think was more like fantasy. Like, am I going to use these colors every day? No. But the one with the brown and that really glittery white, perfect. I'm just like, if you could see the floor right now, there's like so much going on. I'm like covered in palettes. This is Radioactive by Melt. I've not used. TBD. Brunch Date from Colourpop. This was the Zoeva and Colourpop collab. I mean, it's kind of boring, but it's like a nice neutral with a pop of blue palette. Here are 4 Kaleidos palettes. There's this one. Who Are You? Electro Turquoise, Astro Pink, Sci-Fi Green, and VR Neon. I discovered Kaleidos after watching a video from Lauren May Beauty. She had swatched all of her black eyeshadows to see which one was the darkest, and by far, you could see in the video, the darkest shadow came out of this palette. It's just the blackest black. And I was like, wow, never heard of this brand before. Let me go look them up. And I bought all the palettes. I have 2 more Melt palettes. This is the Gemini palette. I love like that part of it. Those greens are just gorgeous. But now that I'm looking at it, whoa, those greens and that Sci-Fi Green palette are pretty much spot on. We'll see if I end up holding on to both of those. And then this I got as a Christmas present. So pretty. I love it. I've used it and I don't see her going anywhere. I did it. I fell into the hype of the Norvina Pro palettes. So this is the first one, the second one, and the third one. I've not used them. The more palettes I look at, the longer this video goes on, the crazier my hair is getting. I keep having to like fix it because it's I need to get it cut. That's what I need to do. This is the only other Colourpop palette I have, and it's the So Jaded from Kathleen Lights, and she's a beauty. It's a rainbow, but kind of like a murky rainbow, which I'm all about. This is my Star palette. Very dirty, very loved. Yes, yes, yes. This is a good one. The Sunrise palette. Another good one. I don't know that I agree with anyone's bad reviews of Natasha Denona. I don't know if I'm blinded by the beauty, but I love them all. So this is the green brown. These have gotten like some pretty good use, but not $300 worth of good use, you know. And the blue purple. My favorite one is this one here. And I just like literally use it as a color by itself all over the lid and like buffed into the crease, and that's it. But I think that shadow is available as a single. And this, there's no name to it except that it's the 10 pan palette. Really pretty. No mattes to it, but I don't mind that. Oh, this one. Metropolis? Yeah, Metropolis palette. Oh, she is the nice one. So what I do with these a lot is I'll pop the pans out because they're all magnetic. So I pick a few shadows that I want to use, and then I'll throw them in like a Z palette, and then that's how I get use out of a lot of these. Sunset palette, probably my least used out of all of them. Tropics. People hated this. Like hated this palette. I like it a lot. I used like the 2 top rows, like the neutral rows, every day for a really long time. I don't know, they make like really good everyday neutral simple looks, but it's a really expensive palette to use for that, you know, when there's so many other good palettes out there. Lila. Lila? Lila. Lila. I say Lila. My friends say it's Lila. I don't believe them. I think Lila. Anyway, my Biba palette. I love this palette. I need to be careful because my black just fell out. I love it, and it's broken now, and that makes me really sad. Gold palette. I have not used that as much as a lot of people who have that palette. And Safari. I think that's it for Natasha Denona. No, it's not. I have 2 of the mini palettes. Has seen better days. I've used this actually quite a lot. I have a post on my Instagram with it. This is the Mini Lila and the Mini Nude. I like them both. Those are the only 2 that I kept out of the minis. These 2 were from Christmas 2017. Joya and the Aries. They are nice, but this one has a broken shadow. I get that the formula needs to be a certain way for these like luxury shadows to perform their best, but they're so fragile. I just wish they weren't so fragile. Here is the Coral palette. Camel, which I've used quite a bit. This one had like bad reviews. The Cranberry. I like it. Here's another Dose palette that I have. The I Love Sarahi. I got this from a friend. She obviously used it a lot. I have not tried it yet. This is the Berries and Cream. So pretty. This is so pretty. I've never used it though. I got it for Christmas. I must try it. The Original Latte palette. So nice. I really want that second one. And then, last but not least for Dominique Cosmetics, maybe it is least, it's the Lemonade. Oh, it's not last. It's not last. I have this little rinky-dink palette. Look how tiny. This is the Sweater Weather palette. It was like a Christmas release. Super tiny, super cute. I've used it. Don't really have thoughts on it yet. This is the Lemonade palette. I had it. I sold it. I regretted it, and I bought it again. I have quite a few ABH palettes. Classic Modern Renaissance. I decluttered it, then pulled it out of the declutter pile. The Alyssa Edwards palette, which I've not even swatched. Soft Glam. I hate the felt palettes because they get so dirty. I have lots of cats, you know. Carly Bible palette. This is really pretty. it did not get its day in the spotlight at all. Jackie Aina palette. Another gorgeous palette that did not get its day in the sun. Prism, I'm not sure about this. We'll see. This might go. This is the Self-Made palette. They don't make this one anymore. I decluttered most of my older ABH palettes and kept this one. If you watch my first ever palette declutter, I had a lot more ABH palettes than this. But I still have 3 more. I have this Subculture, Sultry, Riviera. This is the Charlotte Tilbury, the Icon palette, the Viseart Amethyst palette. This one I really like. Chroma. I do have 2 more Morphe palettes. I have the Kathleen Lights palette, which I've used-ish. The original Jaclyn Hill palette. This is an old, dirty palette, but it's classic for a reason. I have this collab palette called Get Ready With Me. I pull this palette a lot. I wonder if you can see. I'll usually pick one of like the darker colors on here and put it like all over my lid, buff it out into the crease, and then call it a day. Zoeva Spice of Life. This is like the smallest. Makeup Forever Let's Gold. This is a good one. I think it got discontinued recently. That's sad. Another good one is the Urban Decay Born to Run palette. Is this my only Urban Decay palette? I'm really proud because I've had like at least 20 Urban Decay palettes. And last, but certainly not least, the Tati Volume 1 palette. Is that everything? It's not everything. I already talked about these, but these are in my Shop My Stash. This is the Ritualistic Rose, which I do have on my eyes right now. The Master Palette by Mario. I was wearing this in my last video. This is the Sonia Kashuk Ion Neutral palette. This is like an OG. I've had this for so long. I've had 2, maybe 3 of this palette, and it's the only palette that I have pan on. It's a fairly close dupe to the Viseart one. The only thing missing really is that orangey red. I love this palette. It's old, but I still use it. Like, I still dig into this when I need any of these colors. It's such just a staple palette for me, and they stopped making it. Sonia Kashuk stopped making makeup. And then this Rowan palette. It's a 52 Degrees palette, and it's just like something else. They're very smoky, very nice on the eyes. I quite like it. I got that as a gift, Christmas gift from one of my best friends this past Christmas. I said I only had 2, and I completely forgot about this. This is the Natasha Denona Mini Gold palette. That's it now. It should be 102. I'm not sure. I will count in editing. But yeah, it's a lot. I would like to get down to 75 would be a good goal for this year. And then maybe next year even lower than that. There's a couple that I could see like potentially getting decluttered, like the Brunch Babes one, the Melt Radioactive one, Viseart Koi could probably be one. Maybe some ABH palettes. We'll see how it goes. How I like them when I actually use them because I haven't used them. I need to do like a 2 palettes a week or something like that. Make a look and see if I like them, because man alive, this is a lot of eyeshadow. If you made it this far, holy moly, because I can't believe I made it this far. Oh, you're the true MVP. So if you did make it this far, maybe like it and subscribe and all those things that make me happy. We're almost at 250 subscribers, which I know doesn't seem like much when you look at like the millions of subscribers people have, but to me that's huge because it took me like 6 months just to get 100 subscribers, and in the last month we've gone up like almost 50. So crazy. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I will see you in my next one. Bye.